This Week in Connecticut with Dennis House starts now.
Welcome to This Week in Connecticut. Greetings, everyone. I'm Dennis House. It is Sunday, November 2nd, 2025. Straight ahead today, the SNAP benefits crisis. Hunger is on the rise in our state. Connecticut's Foodshare's Jason Jakubowski is with us with numbers that will shock you. Plus, the millions of dollars in business pumped into our state economy by ports. We'll talk with the director of the Connecticut Port Authority, Michael O'Connor. One of the nation's leading classic car experts who calls Connecticut home is out with a new book. Wayne Carini of Chasing Classic Cars is my guest. And you've seen him on Channel 8 reporting from Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica this week. A big Connecticut honor for Ike Ajachi. Also a follow-up to our conversation with Steve and Carrie Rue, whose son, Luke, was killed by a drunk driver. And first up on This Week, The Lead. We begin this morning with a hot topic this week, food benefits. 3.6 million people live in our great state, and the number of people here suffering from food insecurity or hunger is staggering. The subject was front and center as the future of SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program benefits, came into question. And joining me now is the president and CEO of Connecticut Foodshare, Jason Jakubowski. And Jason, good to see you here on the program.
Dennis, how are you? Good to see you.
So it's been 5 years since you merged, right?
5 years since we have created one statewide food bank. We're now Connecticut Foodshare, serving all 169 towns.
We're always stunned by the demand. What does it stand at right now?
It's crazy. I mean, it's, we're seeing some lines in some parts of the state worse than they were at different times during the pandemic. Right now, there's about 515,000 people in the state of Connecticut who are food insecure, who don't know where their next meal is coming from.
500,000 people.
It's 500,000 people, and it's about 11% increase over next year. And then obviously, since the government shutdown began at the beginning of October, we've had, TSA workers at Tweed, New Haven and up at Bradley that aren't getting paid. We've had federal contractors down in southeastern Connecticut. So that's added to the number of people that need our services. And then there's a lot of uncertainty around SNAP benefits come November.
And you've told me before that it doesn't make a difference which town it is, right?
It does not. I mean, it definitely does not. I mean, we have people in some of the urban areas. We have people in some of the wealthy suburbs. People think, oh, Greenwich, there's no way of anybody. There's 1,000 families in Greenwich that don't know where their next meal is coming from. So, and even the small rural communities, Cornwall, we have a pantry in Cornwall, Sprague, it's all across the state. There's no geographic determinant.
How does Foodshare meet the need?
It's not easy. We meet the need because of the generosity of people here in Connecticut. 95% of our money comes from private philanthropy, from corporations, from philanthropic organizations, and then from individuals here in the state of Connecticut. So that's the biggest deal that we have. The people of Connecticut always have our back. They always step up, and they always help us to be able to not only procure food, but also to be able to store the food. You've been to our place. You've seen it. There's a lot of trucks, a lot of drivers. I mean, it's one thing to get the food in. It's another thing to get the food out to 515,000 people.
We're going to sort of avoid the exact details about SNAP because it's a little difficult because it's such a fluid situation with the government. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. Yeah. The date could change as of this taping. But what exactly are SNAP benefits?
They're what we call, when you and I were kids, we called them food stamps.
Okay.
I mean, that's what the government used to call them is food stamps. But, it's the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It's a subsidy from the government to people in need to help them go buy groceries. And it's a card that they can take, they can go to the grocery store, and it gives them dignity. They're able to buy their own product. It's also a boon to the local economy. There's 2,500 retailers in the state of Connecticut that accept SNAP, anywhere from 10 to 15% of their business. So if SNAP were to go away, not only do you have 360,000 people who don't know how they're going to get their food, it's a real hit to the grocery economy here in Connecticut.
And this is a federal program.
It's a federal program.
But the state can help out.
It's administered by the state, but it is a federal program. The federal government determines, where the dollars are spent and when they're spent. And it's never happened before. There's been plenty of government shutdowns before. It's never affected SNAP dollars before. This is an instance in which we're concerned. We're really concerned that first week in November, people may not know if they have SNAP dollars on their cards.
What time of year is the need the greatest?
It's interesting. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of focus around the holidays.
Turkey drives.
Turkey drives. The great Thanksgiving food drive coming up at the end of
News
November.
8 will be there.
News 8 is always there. But summer is the hardest time of the year for food insecurity.
Interesting.
People always they don't think about that, but it's because kids are out of school. So June, July, August, we have the least number of volunteers. We have the least number of donations, but the need is highest because kids aren't in school getting getting 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 meals a day. So people think about us the most during the holidays, but the need is the greatest during the summer.
Are more and more schools offering more meals these days?
More are. You know, obviously there were a lot more during the pandemic. Things are kind of back to like pre-pandemic right now, in which some schools are offering, you know, maybe 1 meal, maybe 2 meals. Some are 3 meals. Obviously, that's a federal program as well. So as a part of this whole larger discussion, what does that look like in a couple of weeks? I don't know. I mean, it's so hard to predict.
What can people do right now who are watching to help?
People can, 2 things. First of all, if you need help, you can go to ctfoodshare.org and you can find out where all of our pantries are. You can find out where all of our mobile sites are. You could call 211, go to the United Way's website. We have them all listed there. You could also go to ctfoodshare.org if you want to make a donation or if you want to volunteer. At the holidays, those are the 2 things we need the most: monetary donations and volunteers.
And you've been working very closely with the governor,
absolutely,
and the state legislature and the congressional delegation. What are they telling you?
I think they're worried. I think they're concerned. I think there's a lot of concern about how long is this government shutdown going to last, because it's certainly not a good thing. It's certainly not a positive thing. The conversations we've had with the governor are, you know, about what can we do to help. I think, you know, the governor's already announced last week that he is going to help us by giving us some additional funding on a per-week basis to help try to fill some of the gap that people lose from SNAP. But I think, and this is the most important thing, what they're able to give us isn't going to solve the problem. It's not a one-for-one solution. So I think people are just waiting to know, when does this end, how does this end, and how are we going to be able to move forward?
And I just want to reiterate a key point at the beginning of the conversation. For those of you who joined us late to this conversation, 500,000 people.
500,000.
In Connecticut. Stunning.
It's awful. In the richest state in the country. It's crazy.
Jason Jakubowski from Connecticut Foodshare. Keep up the good work, and thanks so
Dennis.
much. And of course, we'll see you at the food drive.
Thank you. We'll be there. We'll be there.
All right. And coming up when we come back, the ports of Connecticut and their coastline next.